Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of BTTH Rebirth of Emperor Yang episode number 253 based on novel. So let's start. When Xiao Yan came back to his senses with Nonsense, he saw a fat young man standing aside, staring at Nonsense with hot eyes, as if he had been stirred up by Nonsense. The fat man looked gorgeous in all his clothes and accessories, just like a rich child, but his fat appearance slightly lowered his posture. But anyway, seeing a big financier standing in front of him, the mood of Nonsense can't be stabilized immediately. I can't imagine that this child is not only a young hero, but also has such a generous hand. To tell the truth, there are not many broken mirror flowers in my herb pavilion, only 5, but since the child wants them all, I'll send someone to get them immediately. After some heartless praise, Nonsense Maker immediately sent someone to get all the broken mirror flowers in stock. Young master, although broken mirror flowers are really precious, we don't need them yet. If you want them all, I'm afraid it's hard to explain to the owner when you go back. Just at this time, behind the fat man, a thin old man with a huge difference in body size suddenly stood up, covered his body in black robe, and despised the nonsense. However, in the face of the fat young master, his tone of voice was much milder, and it seemed that he deliberately moved out of the house in order to make the young master take back his life. This, Master Ellen, but the broken mirror flower is really a treasure. If I take it after refining it into a pill, my cultivation will certainly break through to the source territory. No one will dare to underestimate me at that time. Hearing that Master Ellen actually moved out the owner of the house, the fat man's face couldn't help but flash a look of fear, but then he insisted. Hearing the speech, Master Ellen frowned and looked unbearable. At the same time, he was mixed with a trace of regret and pity. At the same time, after the fat man said this, many people in the hall couldn't help laughing, not for anything else, just because the fat man's cultivation just barely reached the 7-star fighting emperor. Such cultivation is very difficult to reach even the source environment, let alone return to the source environment. Xiao Yan also followed the fat man's strange words and focused on the latter. After looking carefully, he seemed to see some clues. For those sarcastic and disdainful laughter, Master Ellen beside the fat man just looked back, and the cold breath immediately shut those people's mouths. Each one turned quickly with fear, and even many people had hurriedly escaped from the Baikao pavilion. Return to the source later. With his powerful soul power, Xiao Yan could clearly perceive the cultivation of the thin old man in front of him. Immediately, Xiao Yan's heart was shocked, and the whole person's spirit was tense in an instant. Unexpectedly, there are strong people of this level in this hopeless city. However, while Xiao Yan was surprised at this, he was also curious about the forces behind the fat man. What kind of force can let a strong man in the later stage of returning to the source territory be the escort of such a young man? Take back the broken mirror flower. We don't need it. The old man first stared at Xiao Yan, and a strange light flashed through his deep old eyes. He immediately said something to Nonsense, and then took the fat man's wrist and wanted to take it away. In this regard, although the Nonsense Maker was unwilling, after some general thinking, he still took back his mind and turned to focus on Xiao Yan again. Now that the big money owner has run away, he can only expect Xiao Yan to buy his broken mirror flower. Please stay. But just as Nonsense Zhao had just put his eyes back on Xiao Yan, the latter suddenly turned around and stopped the old man who had reached the door of the 100-grass pavilion. Well, what's up? The old man said in a slightly low tone. A pair of deep old eyes stared at Xiao Yan, and a cold breath couldn't help climbing up Xiao Yan's body. With a little tension in his heart, Xiao Yan couldn't help but be surprised at the old man's strength. The cultivation in the later stage of Guiyuan territory was really not comparable to that in the early stage of Guiyuan territory. Xiao Yan had no doubt that if they started at this time and made a positive intersection, they might not be able to hold up even 110 returns in the old man's hands. This was also under the premise that he played most of his cards. Elder, I just explored the young master's body without authorization and found that your young master seems to have been poisoned. Buzz. Before the words in Xiao Yan's mouth fell, the old man suddenly shook his body, and the powerful momentum suddenly swept outward, turned into an invisible wave, and oppressed Xiao Yan. Boy, I don't care who you are, but if you dare to disrespect my young master, don't blame me for being ruthless. In the face of this strong pressure, Xiao Yan changed slightly and withdrew half a step backward. At the same time, a strong pressure swept from inside to outside, blocking the oncoming momentum. On one side, he noticed the strong breath sweeping from Xiao Yang's body. The look on his face suddenly changed. He didn't expect that the young boy in front of him was also a strong man returning to the source. The corners of his mouth made of nonsense couldn't help but smoke. At this time, Xiao Yang had no time to pay attention to him. After breaking the air wave in front of him, he quickly opened his mouth. Elder, I don't mean to disrespect your young master. I just want to tell you that I may be able to untie his poison. How many medicine refining masters we have invited for this poison is useless. Even the elders of the Alliance of Medicine Refining Masters have nothing to do. Why do you say you can untie it? However, Master Lan didn't seem to believe Xiao Yang's words. After a cold hiss, he rolled his sleeves and waved a strong wind. At the same time, he wanted to leave with his young master. Bang! But then, just as they were about to step out of the door, in Xiao Yang's palm, a light blue flame suddenly popped up, and the blazing high temperature was released. The temperature in the whole hall increased a lot at this moment, and the air became dry. With this, I don't know if it's enough. Almost at the same time, as soon as Master Lan's front foot stepped out of the threshold, his body was like an instant turned into a stone carving. Although he didn't look back, his turbid old eyes stared round at this moment, and there was a thick and unbelievable look in the depths of his pupils. This is strange fire. In the herb pavilion, Master Lan looked at Xiao Yang incredulously. A pair of deep old eyes stared at the light blue flame slowly rising in the palm of his hand, and his heart was shocked. This is really a strange fire. Shua. Almost in an instant, Master Lan's body immediately came to Xiao Yang, stared face to face at the flame in Xiao Yang's hand, and felt the uncontrollable sense of hegemony in the flame. Master Lan couldn't help nodding heavily. It's true that different fire is good. It can have such hegemonic power. I'm afraid there is no other power in the world that can be compared with it. Some words fell down. The nonsense beside Xiao Yang and the rest of the people who were still in the hall suddenly changed their faces. Their eyes converged on Xiao Yang. Their hot eyes were staring at the flame in Xiao Yang's palm, and their shock was expressed on their faces. After confirming that it was a strange fire, Master Lan immediately pulled up his young master, stepped back and bowed down to Xiao Yang in public. Laofulan Knight, this is our young master Fang Jitsong. I have just ignored you. I hope you don't blame me. Master Lan didn't hesitate to stop this series of actions. From recognizing the strange fire in Xiao Yang's hand, to the flying thoughts in his heart, until he bent down and arched his hands to apologize, all of which were just what happened between a few breaths. You are too worried. I was reckless before, so I just misunderstood you. Seeing this scene, Xiao Yang couldn't help but be stunned. Then he hurried forward and helped Master Lan up. After all, the other party is a strong man in the later stage of Gyuanjing. It's a big gift to bow down to him in public. How dare Xiao Yang neglect it? The elder of the Alchemist Alliance who had checked the poison wound in the young master's body in the past said that the poison entered the body very deeply and could not be dispelled by ordinary means. There are only two ways to do this in the world. One is to refine the poison with different fire, but the different fire in the world has already turned into spirit. Ordinary people can't get different fire at all, but I didn't expect to be caught by me today. Master Lan was helped up by Xiao Yang. Even though he couldn't help showing a hot look, Fang Jitsong's poisoning has haunted his Fang family for several years. Over the years, he has searched everywhere and couldn't find an antidote. He thought it was the only way, but he didn't expect Xiao Yang with different fire to appear here at this time. It really takes no time to find a place when you step on iron shoes. The elder said that there are only two ways to detoxify. One is different fire. What about the other? Hearing Lan Yi's words, Xiao Yang couldn't help picking his eyebrows and asked in doubt. Nature is a strong enough cultivation. With a slight sigh, Lan Yi continued. Even so, even if we went to find a strong man, he still couldn't get rid of the toxin. At most, he just suppressed it for our young master for a period of time, otherwise, I'm afraid he can't even keep the 8-star emperor. This time, before Yi could spit out his words, Xiao Yang took over the words. After some exploration, he has clearly noticed that although Fang Jitsung's cultivation is indeed good in the 8-star duty at the moment, there seems to be another force in his body constantly sucking the source gas in his body, which makes his cultivation lose all the time. It must not be too long, Fang Jitsung's cultivation will fall to the 7-star duty or even lower. Alas! The elder of the Herbalist Alliance once judged that if the young master's cultivation continues to drain like this, once the cultivation falls below the fighting emperor, I'm afraid the young master's soul source will collapse by itself. By that time, there will be a body left. At this point, Yi couldn't help turning her head and looking at Fang Jitsung on the side. There was a little unbearable in her old eyes. Therefore, I hope you can dispel the poison in my body for my young master. If you can dispel the poison, I promise that the Fang family will owe you a great favor. As soon as he said this, Xiao Yang's expression remained unchanged, but his heart was a burst of ecstasy. After talking for a long time, isn't that what he wanted to hear? Xiao Yang thinks that he is not a kind of good person. However, when he first comes to the extreme south and sees a strong man like Yi, he can guess that the force behind him is definitely extraordinary. If such a person can owe himself a favor, it will certainly be of great benefit to his next trip. Master Lan, don't worry first. Now that I've told you the strange fire, I've promised to expel the poison for young Master Fang. Please rest assured. After the words fell, Xiao Yang turned leisurely in Yi's confused eyes, looked at Nonsense, smiled and said, "Please put away this broken mirror flower for me in advance." "I'll take it." He looked blankly at their Nonsense. As soon as Zhao heard this, the whole man suddenly thought back, almost jumped up, turned and shouted to the waiter of the Baikao pavilion not far away. Then the man hurried off. Wait a minute. However, at this time, Yi stopped the Nonsense again. The latter immediately picked up his spirit and looked at Yi. Compared with Xiao Yang, the old man was more terrible. Naturally, he didn't dare to be careless. In Xiao Yang's suspicious eyes, Yi spoke faintly. "Take all the broken mirror flowers in your inventory and give them to this gentleman. I will give you all the necessary expenses." As soon as he said this, the Nonsense suddenly lit up in front of him, and he was secretly happy in his heart. Then he quickly sent someone to get all the broken mirror flowers in stock and handed them to Xiao Yang, together with the one in the counter. As for the rest of the medicinal materials needed for the exchange of broken mirror flowers, Yi delivered them on behalf of him. In addition to the medicinal materials, Xiao Yang was surprised to find that there was a large deal of Lingsha transaction. "Hehe, sir, don't be surprised. Baikao Pavilion always trades things for things. This is absolutely fair, but after all, we need manpower to do things. There are not many. For the same medicine, only 1,000 spirit stones and 3,000 pills." Seeing the stunned expression on Xiao Yang's face, he grinned Nonsense and looked harmless to humans and animals. The words spit out from his mouth made Xiao Yang's face jump. The 100-grass pavilion was really a good abacus. Not only did it not lose a bit, but it could also get a lot of spirit stone resources. It was a trick of White Wolf with empty hands. Hehe, Mr. Xiao Yang is still upset about what happened just now? On the street, Xiao Yang and Yi walked slowly forward, and Fang Jitsung accompanied Yi like a child. Usually Yi can do whatever he wants, but now business matters. Yi naturally wants to take care of him, which is also one of the tasks given to him by Fang Jitsung's father. Such an act of Baikao Pavilion is no different from street robbery. Why can such a shop still open? Xiao Yang really couldn't figure out why anyone would want to do business with him and would be willing to give them the spirit stone since the 100-grass pavilion was so shady. Hehe, Mr. Xiao Yang's words are not without some truth. It's normal for them to make an article only on the price of medicinal materials, but they have to charge a large number of spiritual stones while they have no loss. This is really unbearable for ordinary people. At this point, Yi opened her mouth, looked at Xiao Yang, smiled, and then continued to say, "But Mr. Xiao Yang, can you think about why they did this?" "Well," Xiao Yang's eyebrows picked up. Isn't this truth obvious? It's just for the spirit stone. In fact, most of the herbs in the herb pavilion are put at the auction. All the really valuable things will be there. Although the remaining herbs or pills are also difficult to see in the outside world, they are far less valuable than the former. Even so, the resources owned by the herb pavilion are not comparable to those of other shops in the city, because they monopolize all the medicinal materials resources outside the hopeless city. Of course, this is only limited to high-level medicinal materials, but this alone can make them become the leader in the hopeless city. The spirit stones obtained in the 100 Herbs Pavilion are actually only used to supply their mercenary team outside. The real profits can be firmly held in the palm of their hand. Lan Yi said this. Xiao Yang's eyes suddenly showed a look of surprise. According to this, the income of Baikao Pavilion is only the fur of their profits. The real benefits come from the auction. If someone looks for high-level medicinal materials like you today, in this hopeless city, there is nothing else but the 100 Herbs Pavilion. If you don't buy his family, what else can you do? Without high-level medicinal materials and high-level pills, you are doomed to be unable to get high-level pills. From a certain point of view, you even lose a share of self-protection. At this time, do you still care about medicinal materials price? In order to protect your life, even if you have to pay a heavy price, you must do it. At this point, Lin Yi couldn't help looking at Fang Jitsong. If you really want to say it, the fate of the latter seems to be such a truth. Hearing Lin Yi's words, Xiao Yang couldn't help frowning. In this way, on weekdays, the transactions in the herbal pavilion not only won't cause them any losses, but even they can regularly invest a large number of medicinal materials in the auction market to make greater profits. Even if the mercenaries outside die under the grasp of warcraft, they even disappear into the endless mountains and forests, and will never get the real return. The core of the operation of the whole force is always medicinal materials. The spirit stone is just used to repair external losses. As long as there is a steady stream of mercenaries, the Baikao Pavilion will never be in deficit. The people behind them just need to wait for the opportunity and collect enough benefits. Hearing the speech, Xiao Yang suddenly felt cold in his heart, but he understood that the reason for this irreversible situation was actually the reason of strength. If it were not for poor cultivation, how could other shops in Hopeless City be willing to be trampled on their heads, and how could all high-level medicinal materials fall into the herb pavilion? All this is just because there is another big hand behind it. Oh, by the way, I saw Mr. Xiao Yang release that strange fire. I can't help guessing in my heart whether Mr. Xiao Yang is still a herbalist. Seeing the slightly grey look on Xiao Yang's face, Lin Yi first sighed helplessly in her heart. In order to change the topic, she then asked again. Smelling the speech, Xiao Yang had nothing to hide and nodded with a smile. Hiss. Seeing that Xiao Yang nodded and agreed, Lin Yi was surprised and took a breath. At such an age, he could have such a strong cultivation. It's really incredible that he was still a herbalist. Moreover, from the perspective of Xiao Yang's cultivation, Lin Yi guessed that Xiao Yang's realm of refining medicine would not be too low. Then, Lin Yi was a burst of popular flattery, and Xiao Yang naturally accepted it with a smile. After some greetings, the three of them finally came to a different garden. According to Lin Yi, the other garden was specially bought for Fang Jitsong's convenience. Such other gardens are found in many cities in the far south. Xiao Yang was dumb. A moment later, in a room, Xiao Yang stood in front of his bed, surrounded by Lin Yi, standing quietly, staring at Xiao Yang with expectation on his face. On the bed, Fang Jitsong had already passed out. In order to avoid trouble, Lin Yi took a heavy hand on his young master. I think the fat man won't wake up until the next day. Mr. Xiao Yang, next, it's up to you. Back to the point, Lin Yi arched his hand at Xiao Yang again. The latter smiled back and then focused his eyes on Fang Jitsong. To tell you the truth, Xiao Yang had only made a rough exploration with his soul power before. Xiao Yang could not confirm the exact condition of the toxin in this guy's body, so now, for the sake of insurance, Xiao Yang must start from head to tail and carefully explore the condition in Fang Jitsong's body again. When the mind moved, the surging soul power immediately poured out in the middle of the eyebrows, and an invisible momentum and pressure also filled the air. Feeling the power of this pressure, Lian Yi's old face suddenly changed dramatically. A pair of deep eyes stared at Xiao Yang for a moment. The shock in his heart made his breathing hurried. This is a powerful soul power. I'm afraid this soul power is comparable to level 5. Then his mind turned quickly. Lian Yi imagined Xiao Yang's attainments in medicine refining. He could also guess that he must be a medicine refiner with a high level. What he never thought was that this guy would be a 5th-level medicine refiner. Such a herbalist, even in their Fang family, can never exist as if he had nothing. This boy. Who is he? Before the bed, Xiao Yang's eyes closed slightly, and the turbulent soul power surrounded him. The powerful soul pressure was released, which was like an invisible strong wind, making the decorations in the room tremble slightly. With the continuous infusion of soul power, the situation in Fang Jitsung's body is also reflected in Xiao Yang's mind. With his huge soul power, Xiao Yang can clearly realize that the poison in Fang Jitsung not only goes deep into the internal organs, but also includes the cyclone and his soul origin, which is the reason for Fang Jitsung's declining cultivation and unclear thinking. As Xiao Yang guessed, this poison will gradually erode Fang Jitsung's cultivation and soul. Fang Jitsung's death will come when his cultivation is reduced below the fighting emperor. Although Fang Jitsung's internal condition looks similar to that of Liana, it is actually very different. The disaster poison body is mainly its own body. If the body dies, the disaster poison body will naturally die, but the poison is the original invasion of foreign objects. Now Fang Jitsung can still survive safely because of the continuous support of fighting spirit in his body. Xiao Yang can clearly realize that there is a force in Fang Jitsung's cyclone, which continuously guides the fighting spirit to flow to the meridians, so as to slow down the spread and erosion of toxins. It is not hard to imagine that someone should have delayed the spread of toxins in his body with the help of foreign objects. Otherwise, Fang Jitsung is afraid that he will not live until now. From this point, we can see the seriousness of the situation in Fang Jitsung's body. Nevertheless, since it is poison, the different fire has a natural restraint effect. Xiao Yang is confident that with his own different fire, he will be able to dispel all the toxins in Fang Jitsung's body. It's not that any kind of poison is as special as misfortune poison. As long as it's artificial, Xiao Yang is confident that he can solve it. After some inspection, Xiao Yang controlled the strange fire and began to diffuse from Fang Jitsung's lower abdomen until he wrapped his whole body. The whole process was seen by Lian Yi. Seeing this scene, Rao could not help but breathe in his chest. In front of him, what is burning wantonly on his young master is a strange fire. If he is careless, he can burn Fang Jitsung to ashes in an instant. How can he look at it calmly? The strange fire covered Fang Jitsung's whole body, and then differentiated into small flames. It drilled into Fang Jitsung's body from the pores of Fang Jitsung's whole body, and began to expel the toxins in Fang Jitsung's body from the outside to the inside as a whole. The first thing to face is naturally the toxins that invade the meridians. The effect of these toxins is basically the same as that of most toxins. They will soak the meridians and make them lose their original function. Even the thick toxins will turn into viscous liquid and block the meridians, so that Dukajan cannot operate normally in the body. Even the meridians in Fang Jitsung's limbs were almost blocked, so that he could not give play to any fighting energy except his normal activities. At this moment, under the exploration of Xiao Yang's soul power, the dark black viscous liquid is covering Fang Jitsung's limbs. All meridians have been soaked with toxins, and even the bones have been wrapped with a layer of viscous black. The whole arm looks like a lotus root soaked in mud, which looks particularly unbearable. If this goes on for such a long time, whether Fang Jitsung will die or not, this situation alone is enough to make Fang Jitsung's whole arm die. The final result is that Fang Jitsung's limbs will be eroded. Even if he does not die, he will become a completely useless man. What a cruel poison. Even if most of it is removed, if it can't be uprooted, it will still make him a useless man. If there is no strange fire, I'm afraid the poisoner can only detoxify himself, but this poison. Aware of the cruelty of the poison, Xiao Yang couldn't help but say a secret in his heart. At the same time, he also raised a trace of doubt. This poison is very special. In addition to the poison master with special identity, the poison of Warcraft will not have such an effect. Even the poison of high-level Warcraft is aimed at killing and poisoning the enemy. It can never have such a tormenting effect. It seems that someone deliberately mixed it. However, when Xiao Yang and Eleni mentioned the poison earlier, Eleni clearly said that the poison was caused by Warcraft when Fang Zhizong went to the mountain to practice in the forest, and it was not caused by man. As for what kind of Warcraft it was, no one knew. What was certain was that it was definitely hurt by Warcraft from the wound when Fang Zhizong was poisoned. And this made Xiao Yang more and more curious. What kind of Warcraft could have such strange poison? However, it's not what Warcraft it is that Xiao Yang should judge now. At present, the most important thing is to expel the toxin in Fang Zhizong's body first. As for other things, he can only make other plans. Although the toxin in Fang Zhizong's body is not weak, compared with Liana's misfortune poison body, it is undoubtedly a feeling that Xiao Yang is a great witch. At this time, Xiao Yang's refining is much faster than before. In more than an hour, most of the toxins in Fang Zhizong's limbs are removed. The original dark bone meridians seem to be a new look at the moment. With the influx of fighting spirit, the weak meridians are rejuvenated again. From the outside, all the strange fire covering Fang Zhizong's body surface has poured into Fang Zhizong's body. Eleni stared at Fang Zhizong's ruddy face, and his heart couldn't help throbbing. Although the young master seems ordinary in recent years, he is in pain all the time. If the owner hadn't suppressed the toxins in his body on schedule, I'm afraid he would have died. Today, I saw the young master's face recover with my own eyes. Lan Yi could not help but show an excited look on his face, and his hands could not help trembling. He has been with Fang Zhizong for many years, almost never leaving. If the young master hadn't chosen to experience by himself, he wouldn't have led to the current situation. Although the owner didn't say about it, he always felt sorry. Now, Fang Zhizong has finally found a way to understand and save. How can he not be excited? Today, the whole process of expelling Fang Zhizong's poison lasted only 1.5 hours. When Xiao Yang opened his eyes again, it was getting dark in the evening. I believe Luo Jin and others have returned to the post. If they don't go back, they will inevitably worry. Looking at Fang Zhizong, although he didn't expel all the toxins in his body, at least after expelling the toxins in his limbs for one afternoon, the toxins in his limbs have been basically cleaned. As for the rest, Xiao Yang doesn't intend to finish it all at once. With a flash of fine light from the bottom of his eyes, Xiao Yang immediately took a long breath, took back the strange fire, turned and hugged Eleni, smiled. Master Lan, I think I'll stop here first for today's detoxification. My friends are still waiting for me to go back. Hearing the speech, Lan was stunned and hurriedly looked at Fang Zhizong. Then he hesitated and said, "But Mr. Xiao Yang, the poison in my young master's body. I have removed the poison from his limbs. As for the 5 internal organs, it needs to be done next time. After all, everything is worse than it is. His poison is not a day or two. It is impossible to solve it at one time. Please wait patiently, Master Lan." Xiao Yang smiled, and a cunning light flashed in his eyes. Then he couldn't help saying, and raised his feet and walked towards the door. "I don't know where Mr. Xiao Yang lives, so I can find you." He Lani. A moment later, when Xiao Yang returned to the post, he saw Luo Jin and others sitting around waiting in the room. When the party didn't see him coming back, everyone naturally felt a little worried. At this time, they were relieved to see Xiao Yang coming back. When Xiao Yang pushed open the door, the people in the room invariably focused on the latter. After confirming that he was okay, they were relieved. "We couldn't find you all afternoon. Where have you been?" Xiao Yang could not be seen all afternoon, and even Luo Jin could not be found by searching the city with his soul power, which made him worry about the safety of the former. Save people. Save people. Xiao Yang stepped forward 2 steps and drank the tea in Luo Jin's tea bowl impolitely. While everyone was surprised, he sat down on the chair moved by the little doctor. Then Xiao Yang told them about meeting Fang Zhizong and Lan today. "Oh, the strong people in the later period of Guyuan territory are the guards." "Tut tut, It seems that this Fang family will not be an ordinary family force. Otherwise, you won't take the initiative to share this trouble. Hearing Xiao Yang's story, Luo Jin smiled and looked at Xiao Yang with a joking face. The meaning hidden in the words is self-evident. Hearing the speech, the two brothers immediately tacitly smiled. Then, Xiao Yanzai continued to speak. Although it's not clear which side of the Fang family is, at least their master must be a strong person above the Source King, otherwise it's impossible to subdue a strong person at this level. It's worth it to make a strong person at the Source King level owe a favor. Xiao Yang blurted out his words, and all the people present nodded. The strong man in Yuan Wang's great territory, however, surpassed the strong man who returned to the Source territory and has really mastered the Source gas. He can be called the man who really stands in the ranks of the top strong men in the mainland. Countless people are looking forward to making the strong at the Source King level owe them a favor, because once they have this favor, they can say that they have a death-free gold medal and even bring them endless glory. However, generally speaking, there are almost no such people. Ordinary people simply can't invite the strong of Yuan Wang, but people who are strong enough often don't care too much about such strong people. As for the herbalist, as long as they have strong enough medicine refining skills, even the strong of Yuan Wang's territory are also obedient to them, and it's too late to catch up with them. How can they pursue them? Therefore, now that this opportunity is in front of Xiao Yang, it is natural to firmly grasp it. Perhaps it will also become a means to protect their lives in this far south. After a laugh, Luo Jin seemed to think of something. He took an eyebrow and asked Xiao Yang in doubt. I said, although we have reached the extreme south now, have you ever thought about how to exchange geocentric body milk with others when we arrive at the Burning Valley? My father paid a lot of money and took out a lot of family protection array in exchange for this thing, so we can exchange some from the old man, but what are we going to exchange now? Luo Jin's words were to the point. Except Xiao Yang, other people's faces showed an ignorant expression in an instant. For more than a month recently, they have been in the double tension of going to the extreme south and Haiyun Palace, but they seem to have forgotten this layer. Now, even if they have arrived at the extreme south, if they went to the Burning Valley that day and couldn't give enough exciting things to exchange for geocentric body milk, wouldn't this trip still go in vain and end up empty? However, when everyone was stunned, Xiao Yang sneered. It seems that the people in front of him really forgot this extremely important thing. When Xiao Yishen and others saw the expression on Xiao Yang's face, they immediately understood that Xiao Yang must have expected, otherwise they would not be so calm as at the moment. Don't worry, since I said to get the geocentric body milk, I naturally want to ensure that it is safe. As soon as he smiled confidently, in the eyes of the people in front of him, Xiao Yang waved his big sleeve, and the light in the room immediately became dim. Buzz! After a crash, a tall ancient tree appeared in front of the crowd. The space in the originally empty house immediately became narrow. This is. Looking up at the huge fan leaves on the ancient tree in front of us, the faces of the people present were stunned at first, and then turned into a shock. This is 1,000 trees. Look at the size of the tree and these thousands of leaves. I'm afraid it has to be more than 3,000 years. The diameter of the huge trunk is close to 1 foot, and its height has even touched the roof. Several people can see that many tiles on the roof have been lifted, the sky is dark, and the starlight is trivial. The crown of the tree exposing the roof is like an invisible pagoda in the dark. The soft light reflected from the house sets off each other, making it look more mysterious. At this moment, on the 1,000-fan tree, many thousand fan leaves with uniform size are swinging gently, and there is a strong energy breath in the air. That is the special medicine inherent in the 1,000-fan tree itself. With the growth of the 1,000-fan leaves, this medicine becomes particularly strong. At the moment, there are more than 100 leaves shaking gently in front of Xiao Yang's people, which also makes the interwoven medicine stronger. To be exact, the current 1,000-fan tree has a tree age of 7,000 years, and these largest 1,000-fan leaves have a drug age of 5,000 years. Xiao Yang smiled. These thousands of leaves over 5,000 years were the chips he used to exchange for geocentric body milk. 7,000-year-old trees, 5,000-year-old leaves. This level of medicinal materials is enough to refine some 7th-order pills. It's terrible where you got it, boy. Ju Tai looked at the huge ancient tree in front of him with a shocked face. The smell filled with an ancient flavor told him that what Xiao Yang said was absolutely not exaggerated, but can something of this level really be found or exist in the world? Smells speech. Xiao Yang pursed a smile and didn't say much. To say it, all this is also due to different fire. The fourth highest living creature in the list of different fire, Jian, has the special effect of such hair-stimulating plants. Since Xiao Yang got this 1,000-fan tree from Jinyao, he has been nourished by different fire. Now he has really lived up to his expectations. This video will end here.